Hey everyone, Timothy on PC. I have no idea why I'm making this video. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was going through my emails, and I had seen one from 16personalities.com, which is something that I did like 4 years ago, and you know. 4 years ago, there was a lot of what's the word? Craziness going on. I was still in the military. I was still trying to figure out who the heck I was, and I think I was, I was struggling. And as I went to the website, and I was like, you know what? Like I questioned whether or not I was honest with myself when I took this this personality test. Now, this is gonna be completely unscripted. I think that the reason I'm making this video is to kind of hold myself accountable. To whoever watches this, but also just, maybe it's just me, but I feel like a lot of people look at these tests and they answer the questions as if they're answering how they want it to be instead of how it actually is. And today I really wanted to focus on just being honest. So this is www.16personalities.com. I'll put the link in the description below. But I really just wanted to take this test again. The last time I tested this years ago, I was an INFJ personality type. And I'm just curious, I want to see, and I'm gonna make it a point here to be just as fluidly honest as I possibly can. I'm probably gonna talk a lot. This video is probably gonna be a little longer than my normal ones. All 3 of them or something. But here goes. So, alright, you regularly make new friends. That is a hyper disagree. I don't have that many friends. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. Yeah. That's a hyper agree, I think. Various random topics that pique my interest. You know what? If I'm honest with myself, I don't really pursue like random topics. I usually like I found that a way to gauge my this kind of a question is to look at my YouTube watch later playlist. And my YouTube watch later playlist is like the most random concoction of stuff. How to code in Java. The science behind 40 hertz, job career choices for someone with an INFJ personality type, Japanese city pop, DMCA free lo-fi. Like, it's very random. So maybe, yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and agree here. I'm gonna try and avoid this neutral as much as possible, because unless I'm truly neutral, I'm gonna try and lean one way or the other, in the hopes that helps make this as accurate as possible. So you spend a lot of free time exploring random topics that pique your interest. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. No, that's a hyper disagree. You often make a backup plan for a backup plan. I was an operations office NCO in the Army. So this is either a very strong or a super strong. Heck yeah. We'll go with that one. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. It depends on what kind of pressure it is, I think. I guess, this is kind of a generic question here. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. So you usually stay calm despite being under pressure. My employer would probably be able to tell me, no, Tim, you're not that great under pressure. Well, I would tell them that. They would say, you're doing fine. Yeah, we'll disagree with that a little bit. You know what? No, we'll up that. At social events, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Yeah. I am not a social butterfly. I wish. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. Do I prefer? Yeah. Yeah, I like seeing things through to completion. I prefer to finish one project, yeah. That allows me, like, the reason I like doing this is just I have ADHD, and I found that when I get to finish a project through from start to finish, it allows me to just hyper focus, I guess is the best way of putting it, on that task and all of everything involved with it. And then I can, finish it. But, when something kind of like sidetracks me, whether it's, my manager asking me to do something else, I'm like, oh, come on, like, you know what I mean? So that's, I'm going to definitely put hyper agree on that. I'm very sentimental. I'm probably going to be very stupid for doing this, but I just don't care. I need to look this definition up. Overprompted by feelings of tenderness, sadness, or nostalgia. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think a lot about my past, and I'm very sentimental of my past. And am I very sentimental though? No, I don't think so. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. I like to. It doesn't mean that I'm good at using them. Sometimes I look at questions like this and I'm like, all right, yeah, come on. I gotta easy. I can barely manage my own, like, what I'm gonna eat for lunch. So it's like, oh yeah, you like to use it, yeah. I hope there's another question down in like the next page or something. It's like, you're good at using organizing tools, and I'm gonna be like, all right, so I'll agree to this one, and then I'll massively disagree to this one. I'm getting better though. I think I'm getting better. We'll do middle of the road. You know what? No, I really do like using organizing tools. I love organizing things. It's like one of my favorite things to do. I organized my office. Oh my gosh. So many times. In the last year, I think I've reorganized my office. Furniture, like 20 times. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Yeah, that's a hyper agree. I'm thinking about small mistakes right now, guys. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. Nope. I don't feel comfortable walking up to anybody unless it's somebody I know, and even then, I'm hoping that they initiate the conversation. Like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, how you doing? And then I won't shut up if it's someone I know, especially if it's someone I know intimately. But yeah. You are not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analyses of creative works. I'm gonna make the assumption here that they're referring to like looking at a piece of art and trying to analyze what the artist was trying to portray here, or a poem, you know, and the reader's trying to understand, like, where was the poet? What were they doing? What were they looking at? Or whatever, or like, what were they thinking about? I'm not really that interested in that. I mean, yeah, I'm not that interested in that, so I'm gonna... we'll go with that. I don't want to, like, super agree or super disagree unless it's, like, obvious. And usually, I feel like if you hit a question and you don't even have to think about it, it's an agree. It's like it's, you know, it's the two big dots. You are more inclined to follow your head than your heart. That is, no, I disagree with that. Sometimes I want to follow my head, but typically I try to follow. Tests like these just make me question, like, you know, what's going on in here. I just realized I did the crazy side. Like, Timothy on PCs are like crazy. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given moment instead of planning a particular daily routine. You usually prefer doing what you feel like. No, I like planning my day. It doesn't mean that I stick to my routine, but I'm trying really hard. Especially over like the last month, I've been really trying hard to stick with my daily routine. I'm gonna disagree on that. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people. Oh no, I worry about that all the time. You see this? Like, it's like I didn't even have to think about this, you know? That's like one of the first things, first impressions to me, especially like towards other people. I really hope I make a good first impression, because I get sick to my stomach and nervous if I don't, you know? You enjoy participating in group activities. It depends. I like group activities. I like social environments because I feel like I can be more productive. Oh, now I am more productive in social environments, I guess. But what do they mean by this? And I'm seeking interpretation in almost every one of these questions, which is probably not a good sign. I don't know. I'm just talking right now. I'm talking to a camera, doing a personality test, and questioning everything about my personality, which is kind of funny. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. Not really. No, I kind of just... I like closure on things. I don't like... I'm that person that likes looking up plot summaries so I don't have to watch the whole movie. That's just me. Probably a really bad thing, but... Unless it's a TV show, I have the patience to get through a TV show if it's like a 30 minutes or an hour. I'm gonna disagree with that. Your happiness comes more from helping others accomplish things than your own accomplishments. I need to be honest here. Which means, I mean, just already I know it's gonna be over. It's gonna be one of these two. I don't like to admit that. I really don't. But I definitely know that a lot of my intentions are are selfishly led. They're to I can feel my mind wrestling right now. Like when you were in the army, your job was to help other people. You know, your job was to make other people succeed. That literally is a measurable item in your evaluation. Did you help people get promoted? Did you provide good leadership to your subordinates? And but you know what, I think the key here is just leave all this out temporarily, but this right here, your happiness. So if I could rephrase this into something a little more like understandable for me, I would say, are you happier when you help others accomplish things, or are you happier when you accomplish things? And obviously this is an agree or disagree, but I'm definitely more happy with my own accomplishments, so I'll go ahead and disagree with that. Anybody else look at this question just feels selfish sometimes? Like if you're being honest with yourself, do you look at this question and you're like, yeah, I don't really like answering disagree here, but like I'm just trying to be honest with myself, you know? You're interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. I typically have 5 or 6 things that I'm interested in, I think. All right, Tim, name 5 things that you're interested in right now. Go. Okay. Video games, video editing, work, Apple products. Okay, I can't even do that. Okay, so I guess you're interested in so many things you find it difficult what to choose to try next. I'm gonna disagree here because I really don't have that many things that I'm interested in. I do have a lot of things that I'm like, I have a set amount of things that I'm interested in. But I oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. Like I dedicate a lot of focus to those things. I joke about it with my wife a lot. Like she's like, if you get like, for example, like she's like when I first got interested in coffee, I didn't buy a coffee maker. I bought like everything to make coffee. I bought the bean, like I bought everything. I bought a bean grinder. I bought the espresso maker. I bought a scale. I bought like, I didn't just buy a Mr. Coffee maker. I went. So you are prone to worrying about that. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worst. Yep. Yep. You avoid leadership roles in group settings. Yeah. I hate answering this question because, I don't know, it's not something that you like to say yeah to, you know what I mean? At least for me. You avoid leadership. So there's a verb here, right? So you avoid leadership roles. Yeah, I would have to strongly agree with this. I don't like to admit that I do, but I don't feel like I'm a good leader. Like I don't feel like I'm good leader material. I've got folks that would probably tell me otherwise, but the question is you, not other people, right? So you are definitely not an artistic type of person. That is incorrect. Well, hold on. How did they define artistic? See, I have to look at this kind of stuff, and it's crazy because normally I would never define this. I'd be like, am I an artistic person? Yeah. Or am I an artistic person? No. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, I don't know why I'm taking this so seriously. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I really want to be honest with this, you know? So I'm like defining things that I know the definition to just so I can be like, all right, let me make sure that I'm definitely artistic or definitely not artistic, you know? Having or revealing natural creative skill. I'm gonna disagree with that. You think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings? What's the definition to rationality? Logical. Okay, yeah. I think about the sentimental question from, I think, a previous page here. I don't know why. I just do. Do I think the world would be a better place if... Well, what do I think? What do I think of the world right now? I think that the world is... I think that certain parts of the world are really, really selfish. Unfortunately, that I'm probably a part of that selfish part, which really kind of puts things in perspective, I guess, huh? I guess I just wish that the feelings were different. Because logic... I think logic has its place. I'm probably going to start a huge debate about this, but I don't know. I think that logic has its place, but I still feel like... I think the world would be a better place if people relied more on their feelings. Because I think that a lot of people feel like they want to help. I don't know. This is a hard question for me to answer, and I can't explain why. Because at the end of the day, you can't, you know, you can't reduce global waste, you know, without metrics, you know, without measurable, quantifiable data. And you know, like, hey, we are factually reducing global waste by this much per calendar year or something like that, you know? And I might be, I don't know. I'm just, this is Timothy on PC's thinking process right now. It's going all crazy. I'm gonna disagree here. This is my gut feeling on this. I still think that people should rely on their feelings. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Not all of them. Prefer to do... Mildly disagree here. You enjoy watching people argue? No. Watching people argue is a huge trigger for me. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. Yep. Your mood can change very quickly. My mood can change very quickly. I hate saying it, but like, it depends, you know, like, it depends. I'm gonna agree with it, but it depends. Like, I guess in what circumstance, in what situation? Am I in a high pressure situation, or am I in a, you know, the standard workflow situation? So, you lose patience with people who are not as efficient. I'm not efficient at all, at least not in my opinion. So, no. I don't know, like, I'm trying to imagine myself like watching someone who's quote unquote not as efficient as me. Like, all I would think about is like, bro, I made the set, or like, you know, like if I'm like mentoring a junior employee or something like that, all I can think about is like watching them make the same mistake I made and being like, sir, ma'am, I made the exact same mistake you did, you know, 2-3 years ago, so it's fine, whatever. This is, I don't know, it'd probably be a laughing moment for me. I mean, I probably would lose patience eventually, but it would probably take a long time. I think I can thank the military for that. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Let me think about my backlog. If we're referring to this, okay, Timothy, think overall here. Think overall. Don't think about work. Don't think about overall. I feel like a lot of people that take this test do this a lot. They're like, oh, I don't know. What is it? What is it? Like, you know, they're like, oh. I tend to procrastinate. I do. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. No, I hate talking about death. I cannot stand talking about it. So hold on, let me think it out. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. I'm not fascinated by it. No, I'm terrified of it. Looks up definition of fascinated. Strongly attract. No. Okay. Yeah. Usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. Yeah, I think so. It depends on who the others are. I mean, I hate being in like public places. I can't. I don't have agoraphobia, but I get a fair amount of anxiety being in a Whole Foods. I can't go to the mall anymore. Like I can. I plan my days. Like if I'm going to the mall, I plan to like try to go around like the time when it's the least crowded as possible, rather than on your own. I'm gonna mildly agree here. I do like being around other people. I just don't like being around a lot of other people. And being on my own is a bad idea. My mind goes crazy when I'm by myself. A lot of negative thoughts come into my head. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. I wouldn't say that I get bored or I lose interest, but I will say it's probably not bored or lose interest. I get terrified. I'm not college educated. I don't have a degree. And theoretical conversations, at least the ones that I've heard, are mostly amongst the scholastic, the scholastically educated, and I try to avoid those conversations. I don't know why. I just look at this question that they're asking, and I get kind of, I don't know, I guess I get kind of upset because of like how afraid I am of this. Or this, sorry. Like, I don't know. I shouldn't be, but I am. I become bored or lose interest. I can't really answer this question because I don't get bored. I just try to avoid it entirely. Because this typically turns into conflict. Or at least, no. There is a chance that this could turn into conflict, and I try to avoid conflict whenever possible. It's just something from when I was younger. Yeah, whatever. Become bored or lose interest. I can't answer this question. I don't know how to. You find it easy to empathize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. I would say yeah. I can't fully agree with that because it depends, but I mean, I think I've always been a bit of an empath. It's always kind of different. like an outlier. I don't know. You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. Yeah. I will go through a checklist of things and double check it and triple check it. And probably get some form of approval from someone significantly smarter than myself and probably in a managerial position. Yeah. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. I second guess almost every choice I made. I'm second guessing me making this video. I'm like, oh gosh, people aren't gonna watch this. And then there's another part of my head that's like, who cares? You do you, Tim. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. Am I 21, Timothy? No. No, that was years ago. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event is just what you need. Lively? You enjoy good art? Nope. I don't know why that was funny. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. No, I think I don't want to say I'm not like a psychologist, psychiatrist, mental health counselor or anything like that, but I feel like I'm decent at, I don't want to say I'm good at quote unquote reading people, but no, I'm gonna disagree. I think I'm, especially when they, you know, show them to me or tell me about it, it's easy. You like to have a 2D. I like to? Yeah, I do. You rarely feel insecure. No, I feel insecure all the time. You avoid making phone calls. I try to think about this question like as work related to my work. You know, I have a choice to make a phone call or email them, and I will almost always email them. So I'm gonna agree with that. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from your own. I see a flaw in my character, in my personality here. The fake me wants to say, yeah, you know, yeah, I do spend a lot of time trying to understand, or I spend a little bit of time. But in reality, I rarely try to look at other people's, like I don't say I don't, how do I say this? Like, I do not spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are different from my own. Do I like looking at them on occasion? Yes. But mostly, what's my reasoning behind that? It's to be not an educated debater, but just to have knowledge of the other side. I think it's important to understand both sides of a coin before you choose to flip it. I'm gonna disagree with this. I don't spend a lot of time trying to understand views. I spend a little bit of time. In your social circle, you're often the one who can't. Nope. What's the social circle? I don't have a social circle. No, I was kidding. I'm not kidding. Oh gosh. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is get on track as soon as possible. Yep. You're still bothered by mistake. Yep. Oh, I don't like this test. I don't remember this being this terrible. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. No, it is complicated. I contemplate the reason all the time. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Unfortunately, this answer is yes. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. When I was in the army, you kind of had to take the fall for your soldiers, because at the end of the day, typically, it's your lack of leadership that resulted in, you know, the soldiers' bad behavior or something like that. No, it's not typically. It's, you know, sometimes it genuinely is. Like, if a soldier fails PT test, well, you know, your first sergeant or whoever is going to look at you as the leader and be like, you failed your soldier. You didn't train them. You didn't exercise with them enough or whatever. You know, and they try to hold you accountable, you know, and kind of push that into your brain to understand that your soldier is not bad. Or at least try to push that initial thought into your head that your soldier's not bad. But we're talking about Timothy now, right? I actually had an incident like this a couple of days ago, and I was actually really happy that the person in charge of looking at this basically called it out instead of me, because I will typically avoid any form of action. I will try to remain as neutral as possible here. If I get blamed for it, I don't know. I was blamed for a lot of things I didn't do when I was a kid. I guess I got used to it. That's the first neutral I think I've answered. Maybe, I think there's maybe another one. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized. Yep. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take. Yep. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. I work from home. I like it, but I miss collaboration. So I'm gonna have to disagree with this. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. I'm gonna disagree with that. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling. Nope. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. I read this book recently called The Four Agreements, and I think the third agreement is never make assumptions. Impulsively, as soon as I saw this question, I immediately put my mouse and my head was here. And I kind of want to stick with that decision here. Yeah, I think about the people that take this test, right? And I can't be the only one. I can't. That looks at questions like this and it's just like you know, like you're wrestling with it's like you have, I hate admitting this, but it's like you have like this double identity that's like doing a fist fight inside of your head, and you're trying to figure out like who the real Timothy is, or who the real, you know, whoever, you know, insert name here is. And you know, putting it out there like that, I mean, I'm gonna be brutally honest, like I can't, like it sucks, but yeah, you know, at first glance how someone is feeling, like I feel like I do, especially if I can see them. You often feel overwhelmed. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. If I have a technical manual, yeah. What if I don't have a technical manual? I'm trying to imagine myself. Okay, so Timothy, you're working a case, you're doing something, okay. It's something that you're somewhat familiar with, but you don't know everything about it. You're given a certain amount of symptoms, but you're not given what you think the actual problem is. Or you're not given what they think the actual problem is. Okay. Okay. I do follow a certain step, like initial troubleshooting, pretty methodically. Like I'll check a certain amount of things first. I don't follow a checklist in order, but I will do my initial troubleshooting, like looking at the same kind of thing over again, just to see where, because that's where I know, oh, maybe I'll find the problem here. Or statistically, this is where I find the problem or whatever. So we'll go there. You're intrigued by things labeled as controversial. Nope. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. This is where I'm wrestling here. If this said you would pass along a good opportunity because you thought someone else was better than you, I would immediately go, yep. I still kind of want to go, yeah, here. I need to be honest with myself and disagree with this. I would take it. You struggle with deadlines. Yeah, sometimes. Let me think about this. Do I struggle with deadlines? If I am given a deadline, Timothy, I need this by this date. If you tell me that, and I hear it, and I hear, like, you know, the impact of why, then I won't struggle at all. I'll try to get it done. And I don't know if that's the military part of me or growing up in kind of a fairly strict household, but fairly, no, it was really strict. I'll do that. You feel confident that things will work out for you. My personality type is defender. Well, it's different. So my initial assessment was INFJ. What was it? I don't remember. Oh, geez. What was what was it? I think it was INFJ. What does this mean? What does the T mean? So 82% introverted. Oh, I think that, yeah, that's what that is. Okay. I don't know if I should be happy with this. I mean, I guess I'm kind of happy that I see this instead of what it was originally, which was an INFJ. But I mean, this is just, all of this is, I don't want to say it's facetious, but it's all just a metric. You know what I mean? It's a finite amount of questions designed to gauge where they think your personality is. But I mean, it's cool. It is nice to see. Okay, so yeah, my initial was a couple years ago was INFJ-T, and now we're an ISFJ-T. Interesting. So I'm gonna have to read this later. I don't want to go through all of this right now because I'm, but the reason for this video was just to it was to hold myself accountable for being as honest as I could with this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this information right now, but we'll see. Hopefully I learned something about myself today that allows me to improve in the future. So that's all for this video today, folks. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And hopefully this video reaches someone the way that I hoped it would. And that's all. So when I say peace.